Fellow patriots, so as you're well aware, I have not been recording the way I used to previously, where I would try to upload like either every day or every other day. Anyways, so like as if you guys were not already aware, I was in the ER about a month and a half ago, which is where I found out about my gallbladder stones and my little one. And I had gone to do the follow-up with my regular doctor, and he was not cooperative with me at all, and he was like, nope, you're gonna wait it out. And he told me that I was fine. And I'm at a loss of words, truly, because I'm like, why would you tell me that I'm fine if you genuinely knew that I wasn't fine? Because they did an ultrasound there too. They did blood work and urine and all that there too. They literally ran blood, ultrasound, and urine all at once. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm going to send you to high risk. Keep in mind, at that point, I had no idea what the heck was genuinely going on. So I go to high risk almost about a month and 4 weeks later, because that's when they made the appointment. And, right there is where, I waited only 5 minutes in the lobby. When I arrived, they took me immediately back to ask for a sample, had me talk to a geneticist because of my age, allegedly, which, by the way, I'm going to dive into that for you first-time parents so that you guys don't fall victim to the crap that they're trying to sell. But hold on. I'm going to finish and then I'll get there. And so anyways, I did the whole urinalysis. I went to the ultrasound tech room, and this woman was nothing short of amazing. She was just so loving, just so compassionate. And she was just asking me all kinds of questions, which at the beginning I was like, okay, fine. This lady was young. She was in her 20s, really super understanding. This Caucasian lady, and just absolutely amazing, and she was really kind. And then right after her came a nurse, an RN, who she was coming in doing my history and doing all this, that, and the third, and she was like, oh, well, I'm really really well aware that nausea can definitely hit you like that, especially at the beginning of a new pregnancy and this, that, and the third. And then all of a sudden, she, to see the demeanor of this woman was just absolutely amazing to be able to experience that. It's the kind of bond or connection that a biological mother would have with her daughter. When everything is healthy, when everything is right, when the circumstances are there. And trust me, my sisters of the faith and my prodigal sisters who are of the world, spiritually, it's an unseen world. And our parents get attacked all the time. And I know how it is to have somebody in your life who's narcissistic. I know how that is. And so anyways, so she was in there taking my history and, putting down my kids' information and things like that. And she was like, oh, well, I see that you've been struggling a lot with nausea. Well, you can go get the limes and, either suck on the lime or, drink the juice. Or you can get lemon heads, which is so ironic because you wouldn't think that a candy like that would be conducive to helping with nausea. But it did, and it is, which is astounding, to say the least. And so, just the connection we had, even just with that 15 or so minutes, the connection we had was just so amazing. It was like mother and daughter type of a thing. Even though we don't know each other. We're strangers to each other. But the compassion that went behind the line of work that she did really moved me in a different way that I didn't even know that was possible. And so she was just telling me, how to heal my nausea. They will prescribe me medication, and also when I get my asthma attacks that I need to use my inhaler. And I was like, oh, well, I try to stray away from my inhaler because I didn't know. Like I'm not trying to do something that's gonna ultimately do more harm than good. And so she was like, oh no, it's okay. We have plenty of patients that use their inhalers. So I'm like, oh, well, thank you for letting me know. And so, she left the room, and she was like, oh, well, the doctor will be with you in a few minutes, which a few minutes turned into an hour and about 20 minutes approximately. And just to see the devastation on this doctor's face put me in a state of shock that I can't even explain. And I was like, oh God, she's gonna tell me something awful. I just know it. I could feel it deep down in the pit of my stomach. I knew something was wrong. And so I was getting up to go use the restroom because, probably the baby was on my bladder or whatever. And so, hold on. Too dark, sorry. And so, as I was gonna exit the room to go use the restroom, the doctor stopped me in my tracks. And I just could see the devastation, and I just knew that something was horrendously wrong. And so she goes, Miss Gallegos. I was like, huh, what is it? Because I thought it was just gonna be that 10-minute report and you're out. It was anything but that. And so she goes, you have placenta previa. And I was like, so what is that? Like, what can I do on my side of things to help myself? And she goes, it's a very dangerous condition that you have. It can be dangerous for you and the baby. It can end fatally for both of you. And it really hit me hard. Like I never would have guessed. But then I looked back at my freaking doctor and I was like, why did you do that? Like wondering why he did what he did, lead me to believe like I was fine. But somehow I knew deep down in my heart, just hold on to the promises that God has for your life, for the little one, for your family's life, for your siblings and your other family's life, for everybody. I knew that I had to hold on. And so I just knew that holding on to my faith was imperative. And it's so ironic because after, and it's not just me, but there's so many moms out there that after they hear this news, they get so stuck in the devastation that, they don't know how to cope with it.
Everything you want.
And,
right here.
Hold on. Commercial. Ooh, thank God. Sorry about that. And so, they get so lost in that devastation that instead of praying about it, they lose track of what was and how things need to pan out. That they get so stressed out that they lose. And so it's ironic to me because even though I have this life-threatening condition, all I want to do is make sure that my little one is born healthy. You know, God will present whatever trials and storms that come my way in terms of my health. All I want is to deliver the little one okay. I want the little one to be healthy, which I believe that for the most part, the little one is healthy. I've been doing better at eating. My nausea hasn't been that far out to the point where I just can't eat. And, I've been doing better and better each and every day. But that doesn't mean that anxiety doesn't go away. It doesn't mean that those thoughts they stay there with you. Y'all know what I mean? Like that anxiety it stays there. And it's hard. It's hard. But whenever I feel that sense of difficulty, I immediately start praying. Immediately. And this child was spoken into my womb, literally by the Heavenly Father. And, oh my God, my husband and I both can recount the whole situation. First off, it was about 2 months before we found anything out. We were just laying in bed, went to bed, fell asleep, and all of a sudden him and I were abruptly woken up by hearing a child's name spoken over us. And I was like, I personally heard, unto you I speak this child to you. And then he recited the name. At first I was like, hold up, he's probably talking about somebody that I gotta reach out to, or like somebody who's broken beyond repair and feels like they're at that brink at the end of their life. That's what my initial thought was. Because when I heard the voice of the Heavenly Father, I heard, unto you I speak this child. And when those words come out of his mouth, it's you personally. But I don't know if it was because I was asleep or something that I didn't make sense of it. And those were his words, unto you I speak this child. And he said the name. But never in a million years did I think this situation was going to come up. Never, never, ever. I honestly thought that it was somebody who needed a little bit of light and love and positivity spoken into them. Somebody who was sad. And little to my knowledge, it was me. Now, I'm not like in any bad shape, you know. What I will say is that, you know, one of the things that my regular doctor said was, oh, well, you got to change your diet if you don't want to end up having to have the baby early and this, that, and the other. And I was like, what the hell? For me, that was a what the hell moment. You know what I mean? It was a what the F moment. Gosh. Because what kind of doctor would make a comment like that? You know what I mean? That's not cool. You know? Well, you better change your diet if you don't want to deliver early. Which is, ironically, what I ended up doing. I ended up speaking to my doctor in his office. And he was like, well, you got to change your diet and this, that, and the third. There's a lot of stuff that I can't eat. Stuff that I can eat, but stuff that I don't preferably like to eat. And the high-risk doctor said it as well. You gotta change your diet. I was like, I already did that. She's like, great. And I was like, well, is there anything else that I can do to help myself? She said, a lot of resting. That because of the state of my condition, I should not be walking a lot. I shouldn't do far distances and things like that. Says I gotta kind of take it easy, which is okay with me. I just feel like, like I'm over. Hold on. Like I'm overcome by this disappointment in myself, because before we got pregnant, I found, I was healthy. I was exercising every single day. I'm actually quite a lot in shape. But now that I have the little one, it's kind of like I've backtracked. And because of my condition, and I guess this is where my disappointment in myself kind of kicks in, because I can't work out the way I used to. And it kind of makes me a bit upset, because I should be able to exercise at home. The most dumbest remedial exercises possible, obviously. Clearly I can't do no abdominal exercises because of that, which is fine. The little one, it's fine. But I should be able to exercise my legs, my feet, my arms. So I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that my situation is so serious in nature, and the gravity of the life-threatening component of it, and I can't exercise the way I hope to. And I feel like I've kind of just, I don't even know how to word it. I don't know how to word it, because it's a frustration that a lot of people are familiar with, but this is during a little one, so it's a whole different frustration, and it's just that disappointment that I cannot exercise how I want to. I am the person that is very motivated. I am the person that stays inspired. My husband, my 2 daughters, my eldest daughters, of course, even my 2-year-old daughter will tell you, I always work out in my room. My bedroom is my workout place. Now, what blows me away, y'all? And this is completely random from everything. There are so many people who are fat and obese, and it's crazy because they can literally get down and do exercises in their room with no freaking excuse. I don't have equipment. I just looked at what my body needed, the areas that I wanted to target, that I knew I could target at that time, and I did it. And my husband said that I lost close to almost 7 pounds in the course of about 2 months. So when I tell you, I just feel disappointed because I cannot exercise. I can, do tiny little walks here and there, but nothing too rigorous. It's very frustrating, because I changed my diet. I've started to eat healthy. I take my vitamins. I'm doing everything that is in my power to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And, it hasn't. So the doctor's well, you have placenta previa. It's life-threatening for you and baby. And, what do you want to do? And I was I'm not obviously being monitored. And, it's ironic to me because there's so many moms out there who will use that as an excuse to do the wrong thing. But I have been pro-life as far back as I can remember. I have an insane story about both of my sons. From dealing with the family to dealing with the doctors that y'all don't know about yet. But they have incredible stories behind both of them. I know that in Jesus' name, this baby's covered by his blood and she is going to be just fine. But the doctor, after telling me that I had this life-threatening condition called placenta previa, she went on to say that I would require getting a blood transfusion, that I will bleed out a lot during labor. So to avoid me potentially passing away, I will have to have the blood transfusion. Now, I have a little bit of anxiety in regards to that because my mom's mom, now keep in mind that, you know, my mom and my uncles and my grandma, they were living in Colombia in this time. And back then they didn't have the technology to check the blood the way we do today. And basically, whatever was wrong with that bag of blood that they gave to my grandma, it took her life. And so, at the end of everything, my grandma died. And now I kind of like, excuse me, ow. You know, I have that like unseen, unheard anxiety because my grandma lost her life via blood transfusion. And so my husband said something actually kind of remarkable. He was like, oh, well, just make sure, let them know in advance. And I was like, okay. But then I know that I want God's will to be over this child that he spoke into my womb. And more than that, I want, God's hand to be over my family, my other 5 kids, my husband, myself, our dog, of course, my family members, everybody. Like, I don't think, like, from their perspective, I don't think they see it like that. Like, they have some type of awareness, but they really don't know. And I'll tell you, it's given me a new perspective on pregnancy and the challenges that can follow it. And I said it once and I'll say it again. The only thing I want is to have her healthy. And whatever happens to me will be purely God's will. I love you, fam. And like I said, I just, and then the other side of this is that, like, I don't have a lot of support. Like, I got my brother, my sister, my mom's here, but I don't know. She's going through way too much. And so, it just sucks. And it's just like, I already got my nursery set up. So that's really cool. And maybe I will show you guys the nursery when I'm fully done putting it together. But, for right now, I'm just getting by. I'm trying to take it easy as both doctors have recommended. I already changed my diet. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm disappointed, in myself because I cannot exercise the way I want to. And I just feel like I know that there are certain exercises that we can do, but they're simply just not enough. So, I hope there's somebody out there who is in a similar situation who can relay what type of exercises I can and cannot do. That's it.